Welcome into the Peyton Chatagnier Show, brought to you by The Rogue. I'm Neil McCready. That's Peyton Chatagnier. Good to be with you here on this. We're taping this on a Wednesday evening, May the 4th. So happy, I guess, May the 4th day to all the May the 4th joke be with you day stuff. And happy Cinco de Mayo for people who are watching this on Thursday. I used to work in a Mexican restaurant, Peyton, and I was a bartender at a popular Mexican restaurant in Louisiana, and Cinco de Mayo was the day that you just wanted to work. You wanted to work all day long because you were going to make coin.
That's awesome.
On that day. So anyway, happy Cinco de Mayo to everybody. Thanks for making us a part of your week, this network a part of your listening and viewing habits. Peyton, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. All right, we'll get to a number of topics here in a minute. First, I want to tell you we're brought to you by The Rogue, 4450 I-55 North in Jackson, Mississippi. Also at therogue.com. It is graduation season. It's graduation at Ole Miss on Saturday, graduations at colleges all over the place this next couple of weeks, obviously. So go to The Rogue, buy any two collegiate products, and get 20% off your purchase. So for the Ole Miss fan in your life, Mississippi State, whatever the case may be, might even be a great time. If it's a high school grad who is headed to one of those schools, you want to buy some gear for him or her, now would be a great time to do it. Buy any two products, get 20% off your purchase at The Rogue. Get to a number of things with you. The first thing, I know you guys played at Arkansas last weekend, and I had the game on. I wasn't like glued to the audio or whatever, but I heard about the wristbands. And I knew that was something special to you. You're a Houston native, and there was a tragedy at a Travis Scott concert back in November. I think it was November the 7th of 21 out at Astroworld. That there were at least 10 victims, maybe more, and one of those victims was close to you, and you honored her and her family on I think it was Friday night. Is that right?
Yep. The first day.
Yeah, tell me about that, because I thought it was a really nice gesture on your part.
Yeah. So one of my best friends, he goes to Arkansas. I grew up with him, and him and his sister and a couple of other of my buddies and some of her friends were at that concert, and obviously there's some crazy stuff that happened, and they started a philanthropy for her. It's called Pink Bows for Madison. And I thought it'd be a cool gesture to do because he goes to Arkansas. He was going to be there for the game. He didn't know I was doing it, and I just thought it would be cool for him, to be able to see everybody wearing pink. Obviously, we can't wear bows in our hair or something like that, but I thought the pink wrist tape was cool. It's the least I can do. And it's just a crazy event that ended up happening. And this is the best way I can. I feel like
when you hear of something like that, I mean, obviously it becomes national news. I remember when it happened, like all the networks were talking about it that night. It's in your town. And obviously, if you live anywhere around Houston, you know about the Astrodome, and that's become a big concert venue and all that stuff. When you hear about that, did you think to yourself at the time, I know people who were at that concert? Or?
I knew kind of like the day after it happened, because my very best friend was there too. And he had called me and obviously was just kind of pouring out his heart a little bit and talking about how it was so messed up, and then his story of how it all happened. And I feel for everybody. I can't imagine what it would be like. I wouldn't know what to do if I lost a sibling or something like that. But it's super sad. And I think everybody knew, and it was really weird because we would talk about it in the locker room before anybody knew that I knew one of the victims and stuff. And then I would have to explain to him, this is kind of what actually happened. Because I remember at first it was like a weird thing about like all these different stories of how people were being victims and stuff. But it's a terrible.
At first there were people saying there was stuff in the air and stuff like that. Yeah. And it was just the crowds rushed and people fell, and it was so crowded, and it was kind of warm that night, I think, if I recall correctly. And asphyxiation, compression, which sounds like it's just terrible.
I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about it. I have no idea. Sure. But one of my the buddy who explained it to me was just saying he was down in the pile, but happened to kind of escape and It's like you literally couldn't breathe. Like he had to run away because, I mean, there's like, 40 people on top of each other and everyone's trying to scramble and breathe. Like you could not get any air out. Like it was impossible. And I know it was, I can't imagine.
So you did that on Friday. I'm sure you talked to your friend at some point over the weekend. What did it mean to him?
Yeah, I think it went well. I mean, he texted me about it afterwards. He thought it was cool. He didn't know I was doing it. And so I thought that was a really cool thing. And hopefully even his mom, watching the game on TV thought it was a cool gesture. And we took a picture afterwards with the team and everybody that wore it with him, and they posted it on their Instagram because they have a whole Instagram page for her and stuff now. And yeah, it was cool. It was fun.
It was a meaningful trip for you. Obviously, you have a lot of connections at Arkansas beyond that. I know you have I asked you a silly question earlier in the year about slump busters, and you said, I don't think my girlfriend would like that very much, which I thought was a funny answer. And it was a stupid, I was being a silly question. I wasn't being serious. But yeah, so your girlfriend goes to Arkansas. Was that, does that change that weekend at all for you when you're up there?
I mean, I try not to make it any different. We were celebrating her birthday that weekend too, because it was her family was up there, my family was up there, and some of her friends, whatever. We tried to celebrate it and stuff, and everybody was asking her like, all right, well, what are you going to wear to the game? Are you going to wear Ole Miss stuff? Are you going to wear Arkansas stuff? And she's closer with the Ole Miss team in general. Like just she knows all of my friends and stuff, but she wore a Omaha undershirt and then a Ole Miss jersey on top. I was like, all right, that's fair. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. You can do that. That's fair. But she said she rooted for me at least, so that's good.
My daughter Caroline, who produces this show, texted me on Friday, and Caroline's not much of a sports fan. I'll go ahead and tell you that. And so I was sort of stunned when she goes, "I'm going to the game tonight." And I was like, "That's good. I'm glad you're going." And she said, "Did you know that Peyton's girlfriend is a Zeta at Arkansas?" And I said, "I did." And she said, "Oh, I'm so impressed that you knew that." And I was like, well, good. I'm glad I could impress somebody at this point. So yeah, I knew it was I told you a minute ago, apparently it was a big topic among at least a handful of freshman co-eds at Arkansas that you,
that's awesome.
That you and a girl from Arkansas were an item. I guess you guys you met from high school. Is that right?
We've been together for almost 4 years, 4 years tomorrow, actually. Yeah, we met. She's a grade older than me. So I met her going into my senior year of high school, and she'll be a freshman in college up at Arkansas. We met super not romantic at all. I DM'd her on Instagram, and we happened to talk, and then I got her Snapchat and whatever. It took me, I'm not joking, it took me about 4 or 5 months just to build up the courage to finally ask her out on a real date. Like she laughs and talks about like, she never knew that I even liked her. Like I would Snapchat her one picture a day and that was it. Like I don't know. I was super nervous to communicate. And finally, after 4 or 5 months, we went out to get ice cream, and the rest is history.
That's good. Modern love, man.
Yeah, right.
I guess that's how that works. Yeah, we didn't have that back in the day. Back in the day, you'd hit 6 numbers, then you just try to muster up the courage to hit the 7th, and then
that would be tough, man. Because I remember, like, I was kind of stalking her on Instagram beforehand, for a little while, and finally, my buddy was like, "Listen, you got to just do it. Like, you have to, stop talking about it. Just actually DM her or actually talk to her." And she posted some dumb riddle on her Instagram. And if you get it wrong, you're supposed to share it with the next person and whatever. So I answer it. Of course, I get it wrong. And then we start chatting on the Instagram, like DM part of it. And still even then, like I was too scared to, hey, can I get your Snapchat or anything like that? And so finally she just sends in her Snapchat and says, just add me already. Like she knew exactly what I was trying to do. She's like, just do it. Just add me. I was like, all right, sweet. I got it done. It took a little while, but yeah.
That's good. That's a cool story. Yeah, back in you would have not liked it if you had to hit the 7th number and then pray to God that one of her parents didn't answer the phone. Because then it's like,
what happened to the years when I was in elementary school and one of her friends would come up to me and say, "Hey, so and so likes you." Like why can't I just know that? Come on.
Know the outcome ahead of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure it was a fun weekend. Your family was up there, her family, all that stuff. it had to be sort of maddening from a baseball standpoint, right? You guys played one of your better games on Friday. You win. Had so many opportunities on Saturday and then again on Sunday to win games and just couldn't get the big hit. God, had so many chances. Is that how frustrating was that? Not just for you, but as a team, just to be right there, really on the cusp of sweeping a team that I think right now is number 2 in the country or whatnot. You guys sort of had them and couldn't finish it.
It's unreal. We were talking in the locker room yesterday, some of the guys, like, if we could just pick 10 pitches from the whole season, just 10 different pitches from the whole season and change the outcome of those pitches, we would have a completely different season. Like, that's just kind of been our season this year. We just keep falling up a little bit short, and that's, nobody to blame but us. But still, it's just like, man, we are literally one hit away almost every time we lose, and we just can't seem to get it done. I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost like, I'd rather lose 12-1, just get smoked, where you just like, yeah, they're better than us. Then when you lose a game like you did on Saturday, and then you lose a game like you did on Sunday, where it's just, again, it's right there, and they're a good team and all of that, but you guys are right there with them, and like I said, I thought to myself it had to just kind of be maddening to experience that a little bit.
It just sucks the life out of you, especially once it's over and like, all right, the game is over. We have no more hope. We just lost the weekend. It's like, oh my gosh, like, we are this close. And I don't know what it is besides, like, we just need to do better. And I don't think we played bad this weekend. I think overall we played pretty well. And Saturday, I think they beat us on Saturday. I feel like, they actually played better. Sunday, we had too many opportunities to where we just didn't get it done. I feel like there were, if we could just change it, some of the at-bats we had, then it'd be a totally different game. But I guess it is what it is.
It looks like it was a fun atmosphere. You guys have played in a couple of really cool atmospheres the last couple of weeks against Mississippi State and Oxford, and then against Arkansas and Fayetteville, where there's a lot of people there and people are pretty into the games, which I'm thinking that part of it has to be pretty fun, huh?
Oh, that's always fun. And that's why everybody wants to play in the SEC, is to be able to do that. And I remember Arkansas was my one road trip that I was really, really excited about, because I'd already been to Mississippi State and I knew their atmosphere, and then Arkansas's atmosphere is unbelievable as well. And I thought it was gonna be really fun, and it was a good time. Their fans were doing great out there. They were giving us a lot of crap, which is fun and all. But yeah, I love it. I think it makes the games even more fun. Like, it makes you want to win even just a little bit more, just because some old redneck up there is yelling at me to do whatever. So yeah, I love it. It's fun.
What was the best crap you heard out of
the go-to for everybody that comes at me is something along the lines of make a TikTok. And it blows my mind, because I don't even post that much on my TikTok. Like, I'm not the TikTok guy on our team, but for whatever reason, get back in the dugout, make another TikTok, just something dumb, Yeah. I'm like, say something else. Tell me I'm short or something. Like, that's not even true what you're saying. So I don't know. They were messing with a lot of people. It was fun. I love it. I really do.
What was the best, not even at you, but at somebody else that you heard?
I forgot. Okay, so I got hit on one of my at-bats, and I didn't know this happened, but somebody told me later. I got hit, and I went down, and somebody yelled at Coach B, Binko, what happened, or something like that. And he just turns around and looks at him and goes, he got hit. He goes, you go to first whenever you do that. Or something like that. Like, you could tell he obviously wanted to say way more, and he can't, obviously, but it was just funny because it was so sarcastic. Like, you get to go to first after that happens. So it was a lot of fun. And but yeah, it was a good time.
So obviously you guys have 3 weekends left. You've pretty much exhausted your margin for error at this point. What is the mood like inside the locker room before practice?
We've been saying it for a while now, but now it is true. Like, we have to win basically 7 of our next 9 games. And it is what it is. I mean, I don't think anyone's given up yet. It's just, it's going to be, it's crunch time. There's no room for error now. We kind of have to, we have some hope, I think, just from a couple of the teams that we got playing, and we feel good about it. And like I said earlier, like, I don't think we're playing bad, and I still think we're definitely capable of doing it. We get to play at home this weekend, which is nice. And I mean, it is what it is. Nobody's panicked. It's just
Is
like
it
we had normal practice. Coach B didn't talk about, hey, all of a sudden, we got to tighten up. I mean, we did the same exact practice that we've been doing, and you got to keep going.
Is it a little bit of a confidence builder? A little bit. I mean, obviously, like you said, you got to win at least 6 and maybe 7, and it's got to, maybe do something in Hoover and stuff. But
yeah,
does it give you some confidence that DeLucia has been as good as he's been on quote Friday or Thursday, whatever it is? And then also, you're starting to get pretty quality outings out of Elliott, and Derek was pretty good the last couple of weeks. Maybe ran out of gas a little bit, but you've gotten some decent bullpen outings. I mean, again, that's a good Arkansas team. I don't know that it's a great Arkansas team, but it's a good Arkansas team. And you guys were in those games in terms of handling their pitching and your pitchers. Does it give you just a little bit of, hey, we're right there, as opposed to, I mean, obviously on game day, you'd rather just get smoked than lose 4-3 where you're just wanting to pull your hair out. But when you look at it big picture, you're like, we are right there. Maybe some things are going well, or is that too sunshiny?
I think for sure they give us a lot of hope. I mean, DeLucia has been unbelievable. And yeah, same with Hunter and really all of our pitchers. I think we looked a lot better as a whole this week, past weekend. And yeah, I mean, I think for sure in our minds, and I don't know if this is necessarily the best thing to say, but it's like, okay, Friday we've got for sure Friday. And if you look at it just over the whole year, Saturday is our worst day. For whatever reason, even sometimes it's hitting, sometimes it's pitching. It's just, but if we can get Friday, we are going to get Friday. And if we can get Saturday, we for sure win the weekend. And that's the biggest thing. If we could sweep, it's obviously really nice. But yeah, I think that gives us a lot of confidence for sure.
What was your, when you're traveling up to Fayetteville, how do you pass the time? I know I asked you about this on buses and stuff. You just flew up there though, right?
No, we drove 6 hours.
Oh, so you did the bus. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
How'd you pass the time?
As weird as it sounds, I would rather take 6 hours on a bus than 2 hours on a plane. Some people would definitely disagree with me, but I love it. It's like the one time we all get to hang out. We're forced to hang out, as a team. And there's people up at the front that have their headphones in and never say a word, or they're sleeping. But our bus is kind of sectioned off into certain spots. There's like, of course, the very front is the coaches, and whoever's right next to the coaches does not care to, they're not scared. They're going to be right there in the front. They're going to put their headphones in and shut up and just sit there and listen to music or sleep or whatever. And then the middle of the bus is always where we play a game it's called Mafia. And it's just really a fun game. There's no cards involved or anything, but it just gets hectic and it's a lot of fun. There's screaming and stuff. And then very back of the bus is where the cards happen. And so it just depends on what your mood is and where you want to be. That's where you'll be in the bus. It's a lot of fun. I love it. And then, there's obviously Rebel Idol for all the freshmen, their first trips up and stuff like that. And we do a lot of fun stuff to pass the time. I love it. I think road trips are a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would think so. I think that would be one of the perks really of, just get to hang out with your buddies. That's a cool thing.
And even like some guys that I wouldn't necessarily hang out with that much outside of the baseball field, you get to actually hang out with them, and it's fun. I love it. You get to get to not meet new people, but really get to know your teammates.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, spend some more time talking about, going more in depth with guys than you normally would.
Yeah, and I've had like a different roommate for almost every single road trip, which is kind of cool too, because I'm always getting to learn more about everybody. It's fun.
Do you get to get out and go out in the towns and stuff, or are you guys, is everything pretty catered in, or how's that work?
For the most part, we're stuck in. The only time that we have available is like for this weekend, we had 2 late games, Friday, Saturday. So Friday morning, we'll go hit at like 9 or something, 9 to 10:30, and then we'll come back. And from 11 to 2, we have free time to where you can do whatever you want. And then 2 o'clock is team meal. And I said it before, like once team meal hits, it's boom, 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 boom. We've got stuff booked up until the game. But so you get a couple hours there, and then maybe some time after the game if it doesn't run too late, like an hour at most. But it's always fun. Like we got 30 minutes. We all run into somebody's room. We're playing cards for 30 minutes, and then we got to run out of there and make sure we get back before room check. And it's a lot of fun. It is.
What was I going to ask you? There was something else I was going to ask you about. Just kind of I guess the C. Oh, I know what it is. We've talked about baseball etiquette throughout the year. I'm so proud of myself for remembering this, Peyton, because I was going to be mad at myself if I'd forgotten. What would your reaction be if hypothetically your guy hit a home run and he did a little bat flip and the bat happened to bounce over to the visiting dugout, or the home dugout in this case, and the coach for that team tosses the bat into your group as you guys are celebrating this hypothetical home run? If that were to happen to your team, what do you think the reaction would be?
See, that's tough because I haven't seen the full video to where I don't know like what where the bat went, what was said afterwards or anything like that. But if I had to take a guess, I don't even know if we would be able to handle it. Like, I think Coach B would come out there and try to handle it himself. Because if it's a coach doing it, it's kind of different. And I get it from both sides because you don't want the bat coming into the dugout or really close. And I don't know what happened, if he threw it into the dugout or what.
But let's talk about Tennessee for a minute, right? Because they're really good. They're really good. Yeah. I mean, you're in a league, and you know how hard it is to win in this league. And they're 19-2, and 19-2 is 19-2, and tip your hat, right? But they talk a lot, and they celebrate a lot, and they bat flip a lot, and they do the little one finger on the plate thing. When you do that stuff, don't you have to then be prepared to take it?
Yeah, it's tough. Like, that's where you say you have to try to find the line of like, because I understand. This is where I understand from both sides. Because if the bat was purposely thrown like at their dugout or something, like the bat flip was, really towards them, I get it. Because in a way, even though Tennessee is bat flipping, they are doing the dumb touch to the home plate with one finger. They're celebrating and stuff. Like, whenever we played them, there wasn't a lot of player-to-player conflicts. Now, there was a dude that was yelling at our fans and stuff like that, but even then, like, they're not necessarily doing it at us, like,
Okay, that was my next question.
So that's where I say I get both sides, where obviously if you're going to do it, you got to be able to take it too. Like, there's no way you can have it just one way. But it's a hard line to try to, figure out where to cross and not.
So people say that this is good for the sport because you need an evil component, right? You need a bad guy. You need a foil. Do you buy that at all, or?
To a certain degree. Like, whenever we were playing them, I was excited to play them. I wanted to, feel that intensity and stuff. I don't think it's necessarily good for the actual game. I think they're going to get a lot of clout, and people right now that are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 age, they're looking at Tennessee saying, this is the coolest school ever. We're allowed to wear daddy hats and a jacket after we hit a home run. But I think as you get older, I don't know, maybe I have a different take on it. I kind of have a little bit more of an old school view on baseball, but I don't know. I can't really even say that much. They're 19-2. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, I'm with you. If someone were doing that on my team, the whole touching the finger and all that stuff, I would be afraid, I think. And afraid's not the right word. I would be thinking in my mind, someone's got to pay for all this, and that might be me in the batter's box. And a lot of college pitchers have control, and some college pitchers don't. And a lot of dudes throw hard. Like in your series in Arkansas, you guys had a guy, and Arkansas had a guy that touched 100. Yeah. Brandon Johnson hit 100, and Wiggins. Wiggins hit Wiggins, the Sunday starter. He hit 100 once, and he was in the high 90s pretty consistently. So was Brandon. Mm-hmm. One of those gets away. You can do something.
Yeah, see, that's kind of my thing. Like, if you're going to be able to do that, you cannot be mad. Like, if you really, really bat flip it, make it super noticeable and disrespectful, you cannot be mad if our pitcher comes up there and throws at you. Like, now still, even baseball is so dumb with all these like unwritten rules and stuff, because
they're there though. They're
I know,
but the rules, whether they're dumb or not, and I agree with you, they are kind of insane. Yeah, you sort of know those are the rules. Yeah, and someone's going to pay for all that stuff.
I shouldn't say it's dumb, because I understand them and I like the rules, but like, even with beaming a player, it's known you don't throw at their head. Either way, if you're gonna throw at me, throw at me from my shoulder down or my chest down or something like that.
Hit me in the butt.
Yeah, I'm still going to be pissed, but don't ruin my career. So it goes both ways. Where like, if you're going to pimp homers, do all that dumb stuff, you got to be able to take it too. So
yeah, I mean, here's how it's done. If you were to take 3 or 4 females who are all intelligent and say, okay, so here's how these rules work.
Yeah, right.
They would look at you at some point and go, that is so stupid. He could get hurt. Someone could, I mean, and you know what? They're right. I mean,
yeah.
But in the heat of the moment,
yeah,
all that stuff kind of goes out the window. It's like if a team is kind of buttoned up and they sort of play the game that way, typically the other team sort of respects that and kind of does it too.
Yeah.
And you know, it's my observation, you know, like if you're playing team X and team X just kind of plays baseball, they just play, they don't do all that stuff. They hit a home run, but they put the bat down and they run the bases at the proper speed and they touch the plate and they celebrate with their teammates. They don't talk trash. You typically are going to say, you know, I want to beat them, but I respect the way they play.
Yeah.
As the game changes and people start doing crazy stuff, you start saying, hey, you're kind of violating the rules. And at that point you push back a little bit. And I keep waiting for some team to play them and go, you know what? This might be a day that we just sort of sacrifice the whole deal, but this is about to get ugly. I keep thinking that's going to happen, and it hasn't yet. I kind of thought it was going to happen Sunday, but Auburn's in a position where they're still playing for something. Like, I kind of wonder if, like, even Kentucky this weekend, if they lose a couple and they're kind of pissed by Sunday, if they go, you know, or I guess Saturday, because I think that series starts on Thursday. If Kentucky goes, you know what, screw it, we're gonna sort of go at you today.
Yeah. I mean, and I get it. Like, now, like I said, I'm not saying throw at their head or do anything, but if my take on it, I'm not saying you should throw a punch. I'm not saying you should go out there and fight. But if you are, like, you better make sure it's worth it. Like, don't, you know, do the whole just get up in each other's face and then nothing happens. Like, if we're going to make it a big deal, then it needs to be a big deal. So I don't know.
Yeah. For some reason, I have this gut feeling that it's a matter of time. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's because I'm cheering.
But also, like, what are you going to say whenever they're up 11-2? You know, like, it's hard to, I don't know. For me, it's, if you're beating us that bad, then hats off to you. Like, I don't know. It'd be hard for me to get, like, I feel like at that point, you're only getting mad because you're getting whooped, you know? I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, we'll wrap it up there. I know you got stuff to do. Good luck this weekend against Missouri. And as always, thanks for the time. Don't forget the Rogue 4450 I-55 North in Jackson, therogue.com. The collegiate collection is out. Buy any 2 items from the collegiate collection and get 20% off your purchase. Peyton, thanks for the time.
Thank you. Had a blast.
Talk to you guys soon. Goodbye.